Admiral Sarah Chen stood at the helm of the U.S. Nighthawk, watching Earth's first contact team approach the massive Nexus vessel. After centuries of wondering if we were alone in the universe, humanity finally had its answer. The alien ship hung in space like a crystalline cathedral, its iridescent hull refracting sunlight in mesmerizing patterns. Status report. Chen commanded, her weathered face illuminated by holographic displays. The diplomatic shuttle is maintaining course. Admiral, Lieutenant Rodriguez reported. The Nexus vessel's defense screens remain powered down as agreed. Something about this felt wrong. Chen had spent 30 years in Earth's Space Force, and her instincts were screaming. The Nexus Empire had appeared 3 months ago, their ships materializing at the edge of the solar system. Their message was simple. They represented an advanced civilization seeking peaceful contact with emerging spacefaring races. Too simple, too convenient. Run a deep scan of their hull composition, Chen ordered. Focus on quantum variance patterns. Admiral, that would violate the diplomatic protocols they provided. Her XO, Commander David Walsh, reminded her. They specifically requested no active scanning during the approach. Do it anyway, quietly. As the results came in, Chen's suspicions crystallized into certainty. The Nexus ship's hull wasn't just advanced, it was practically identical to the quantum crystalline technology Earth's top-secret Project Nightshade had been developing. Technology that, according to all known physics, shouldn't exist yet. Get that shuttle back. Now, Chen barked. Too late. The Nexus vessel's seemingly ornamental spires suddenly blazed with energy. Not the expected plasma weapons or laser arrays, but coherent quantum beams that shouldn't have been possible with their stated level of technology. The diplomatic shuttle vanished in a flash of light, along with Earth's hopes for a peaceful first contact. Battle stations. Chen's voice cut through the chaos erupting on the bridge. Deploy quantum shields and prepare the shadow drive. Admiral, Walsh's face had gone pale. They're broadcasting on all frequencies. More ships are dropping out of quantum space. Hundreds of them. They're calling themselves the Nexus Ascendancy, now not Empire. They're demanding Earth's immediate surrender and the handover of all our quantum research facilities. Chen's jaw tightened. Of course, they hadn't come for diplomacy. They'd come to eliminate a potential rival before Earth could fully develop its quantum technology. The Nexus must have detected traces of their experiments, realized humans were on the verge of a breakthrough that had taken them centuries to achieve. Send an encrypted burst transmission to command, she ordered. Authorization, Chen, Alpha 09. Tell them to initiate Project Nightshade. All of it. The black ships. Walsh whispered. They're not ready. They'll have to be. Chen watched as more crystalline vessels appeared, their formation turning the space above Earth into a glittering web of death. Because Plan A just got vaporized along with our diplomatic team. Time for Plan B. Deep beneath the lunar surface, in chambers carved from the moon's ancient rock, dozens of experimental vessels stirred to life. Ships that broke every rule of conventional space combat. Ships that bent quantum mechanics itself to their will. Ships like the Nighthawk, but darker, deadlier. The Black Fleet was about to make its combat debut decades ahead of schedule. And the Nexus Ascendancy was about to learn why humans had a reputation for being at their most dangerous when backed into a corner. All hands. Chen's voice echoed through the Nighthawk's corridors. Prepare for combat. The enemy thinks they know what humanity is capable of. Time to show them how wrong they are. As klaxons blared and crew members raced to their stations, Chen allowed herself a grim smile. The Nexus had clearly studied Earth's official technological capabilities in detail, but they'd missed something crucial about human nature. When pushed, humans didn't just think outside the box. They broke it apart and built something new from the pieces. The next few hours would prove that, one way or another. The lunar facility's massive doors parted, revealing the true extent of humanity's secret weapon program. 12 ships of the Black Fleet emerged from their underground berths, their hulls seeming to devour the starlight rather than reflect it. They were ugly by conventional standards, sharp angles and irregular surfaces that defied traditional spacecraft design. Admiral Chen watched from the Nighthawk's bridge as the experimental vessels took formation. Each represented a different approach to quantum warfare, theories tested in simulation but never in actual combat. Until now. "Status of the quantum mesh?" she asked. Lieutenant Rodriguez's fingers danced across his console. "Mesh synchronization at 98% across all vessels. Admiral, the Nexus fleet hasn't detected us yet. Their quantum sensors are still focused on conventional signatures." Of course they were. The Nexus, for all their advanced technology, fought in straight lines. They expected humanity to follow the same technological progression they had, from chemical rockets to fusion drives to quantum propulsion. They never imagined humans would take quantum mechanics in entirely new directions. "All Black Fleet vessels, this is Admiral Chen," she broadcast on their secure channel. "Mission parameters are simple: protect Earth and show these aliens why humans don't appreciate uninvited guests. Initiate Operation Quantum Shadow." The Black Fleet's special quantum drives engage simultaneously. Instead of pushing against space-time like conventional engines, they pulled, creating artificial gravity wells that light itself couldn't escape. To the Nexus fleet's sensors, 12 patches of space simply vanished. Multiple contacts. The Nexus flagship's sensor officer reported frantically, quantum anomalies appearing throughout the formation. Supreme Commander Vex Thor's crystalline appendages clicked in irritation. "Impossible. Their technology is centuries behind ours. They cannot." His words died as the first Black Fleet attack struck. The U.S. Harbinger, specialized in quantum entanglement warfare, fired its main weapon. Instead of a conventional energy beam, it launched a cascade of entangled particles that bypassed the Nexus ship's shields entirely. The targeted vessel's quantum crystalline structure, the foundation of their technology, suddenly found itself entangled with its own shadow state. The result was catastrophic. The Nexus cruiser imploded, its perfect crystalline geometry collapsing as quantum states that should have been separated by universes suddenly occupied the same space. "How?" Vex Thor demanded. "Their understanding of quantum mechanics is primitive. They shouldn't even grasp the basic principles of." "Multiple new signatures," his tactical officer interrupted. "They're using..." "Sir, they're using quantum gravity as a weapon." The U.S. Nemesis demonstrated exactly what that meant, its specialized drive creating a localized point of infinite density, a microscopic black hole that existed for mere microseconds, long enough to tear a Nexus destroyer in half. "Battle Formation Epsilon," Vex Thor ordered. "Concentrate fire on." But the Black Fleet was already moving, using their quantum drives in ways the Nexus had never conceived. The U.S. Phantom phase shifted between dimensions. The U.S. Oracle predicted enemy movements by scanning quantum probability states. Each ship represented a different theorem pushed to its extreme. Theories the Nexus had dismissed as impossible made real through human determination. "Send the signal," Chen commanded. "Let's show them what else we can do." Throughout the solar system, hidden quantum transmitters activated. The space around the Nexus fleet began to vibrate with carefully calculated frequencies, frequencies that played havoc with their crystalline technology. The Nexus ship's perfect formation began to waver as their quantum systems experienced cascading failures. "Their entire technological base relies on quantum crystalline matrices," Chen explained to her bridge crew. "Beautiful, elegant, and incredibly advanced. But they forgot the first rule of quantum mechanics. Everything is connected, including their fancy crystals and our primitive transmitters." The battle wasn't one-sided. Nexus weapons still struck true occasionally, their superior numbers telling. But for every Black Fleet vessel they damaged, they lost 3 of their own to weapons they couldn't understand, couldn't predict, and couldn't defend against. "They're retreating," Rodriguez reported with barely contained excitement. Multiple quantum wake signatures detected. They're running. Let them, Chen ordered. They need to report back to their superiors. Need to explain how the primitive humans just bloodied their nose with technology they thought impossible. As the surviving Nexus ships flood into quantum space, Chen allowed herself a small smile. The real war was just beginning, but humanity had proven something crucial. There was more than one path to the stars, and sometimes the path less traveled led to the most interesting destinations. All ships maintain combat readiness, she broadcast. They'll be back, and next time they won't underestimate us. But that's fine. We've got plenty more surprises waiting. Because if there's one thing humans excel at, it's thinking up new ways to do the impossible. The quantum wake sensors aboard the U.S. Nighthawk painted a grim picture. The Nexus ascendancy wasn't just coming back. They were bringing their entire war fleet. Over 1,000 crystalline vessels converged on Alpha Centauri, humanity's first extrasolar colony. Admiral Chen studied the tactical display, noting the Nexus fleet's modified formation. They've adapted. Look at those quantum field generators. They're trying to counter our entanglement attacks. That's not all, Commander Walsh reported. Their hull resonance patterns have changed. They've retuned their crystalline matrices to resist our quantum frequency attacks. Chen nodded grimly. The Nexus weren't fools. They'd learned from their first defeat and adjusted accordingly. But that was fine. Humans were pretty good at adapting too. Signal the Black Fleet. Execute Operation Quantum Cascade. The 12 experimental ships of humanity's secret weapon program moved into position around Alpha Centauri's binary stars. Their quantum drives hummed with power as they prepared to attempt something never before tried in the history of warfare. They're launching their first wave, Rodriguez announced. 500 ships, standard attack pattern. But Chen was focused on a different set of numbers, the precise gravitational measurements between Alpha Centauri A and B. The stars themselves were about to become humanity's greatest weapons. All ships, initiate quantum gravity manipulation sequence, she ordered. Let's show them why picking a fight near a binary star system was a really bad idea. The Black Fleet's quantum drives activated in perfect synchronization, each ship creating carefully calculated gravity distortions. Alone, they were insignificant. Together, amplified by the natural gravitational dance of the binary stars, they became something else entirely. Space itself began to ripple. The Nexus fleet's perfect formation suddenly found itself fighting against quantum-enhanced gravity waves that twisted and folded spacetime like origami. Their crystalline hulls, designed to channel and control quantum forces, instead became conduits for chaos. By the first light, Supreme Commander Vex Thor whispered as he watched his fleet's carefully planned assault dissolve into disorder. They're using the stars themselves as quantum amplifiers. A sheer audacity. The Black Fleet struck while the Nexus ships struggled against the gravity waves. The U.S. Oracle's probability weapons fired solutions that existed only in quantum superposition, bypassing shields by attacking through possibilities that hadn't happened yet. The U.S. Phantom phased entire enemy squadrons into parallel dimensions where the laws of physics themselves were slightly different, causing catastrophic system failures. But the Nexus weren't going down without a fight. Their superior numbers began to tell as they adapted to the gravity waves. Quantum beams lanced out, catching the U.S. Harbinger in a crossfire that overwhelmed its defenses. The experimental ship exploded in a cascade of quantum energy. Harbinger is down, Walsh reported, his voice tight. Nemesis and Phantom reporting critical damage to their quantum drives. Chen's jaw tightened. The Black Fleet was bleeding, but they'd hurt the enemy far worse. Nearly a third of the Nexus fleet had been destroyed or disabled, their perfect crystalline ships now drifting wreckage. More importantly, they'd proven something vital. Humanity's primitive understanding of quantum mechanics could go toe-to-toe with the Nexus's centuries of advancement. New contact. Rodriguez's voice cut through the chaos. Massive quantum wake signature. Admiral, It's the Nexus Emperor's personal dreadnought. It's joining the battle. The vessel that emerged from quantum space dwarfed everything else on the battlefield. A crystalline leviathan 15 kilometers long. Its hull fractal patterns so complex they hurt the human eye to look at directly. So, Chen murmured, they're taking us seriously enough to bring out their big guns. Good, because we got one more surprise left. Signal the Lunar Defense Command. Tell them to launch Project Prometheus. Authorization code, Chen Omega 0. As the Emperor's dreadnought prepared to enter the fray, humanity's ultimate weapon emerged from quantum space behind Earth's moon. A ship that would change the course of the war and rewrite the rules of space combat forever. Project Prometheus emerged from quantum space like a ghost ship from ancient legends. Unlike the angular designs of the Black Fleet or the crystalline geometry of Nexus vessels, this ship seemed to defy conventional form altogether. Its hull shifted and flowed like liquid metal, quantum fields visibly rippling across its surface. By the eternal stars, Vex Thor breathed, all four of his eyes fixed on the sensor readings. What have they done? The answer came in the form of devastating demonstration. Project Prometheus didn't just manipulate quantum states like other ships, it rewrote them. The space around it became a quantum playground where probability itself bent to human will. Admiral Chen watched from the Nighthawk's bridge as humanity's ultimate weapon engaged the Emperor's dreadnought. Begin quantum consciousness upload. Transfer combat control to the Prometheus Eye. Dr. Elena Santos, Project Prometheus's lead scientist, initiated the transfer sequence. You realize there's no going back from this, Admiral. Once we activate the quantum eye at full capacity. The Nexus gave us no choice, Chen replied. They wanted our quantum research. Let's show them exactly what humans can do with it. The Prometheus Eye awakened fully for the first time, its quantum processors operating in multiple dimensions simultaneously. It didn't just predict enemy movements, it calculated every possible battle outcome across infinite quantum states and chose the optimal path to victory. The Emperor's dreadnought fired its main weapon, a beam of pure quantum energy that could shatter planets. Prometheus didn't evade. Instead, it caught the beam in a quantum field and reflected it through 1,000 parallel dimensions, each reflection striking a different Nexus vessel. Impossible. The Nexus Emperor himself appeared on all communication channels, his crystalline form radiating fury. Your species cannot have mastered quantum consciousness, the computational requirements alone. That's your problem, Chen responded. You think too linearly. Humans, we dream in quantum. Prometheus demonstrated this by literally dreaming up new weapons, its AI running combat simulations across probability space and materializing the most effective solutions, quantum torpedoes that existed in superposition until impact, probability lances that struck their targets a moment before they were fired. The Emperor's dreadnought, pride of the Nexus fleet, found itself fighting an enemy that seemed to break every rule of warfare. Its perfect crystalline structure, the pinnacle of Nexus technology, became its greatest weakness as Prometheus exploited quantum uncertainties in its atomic lattice. We're receiving a priority transmission from Earth Command, Rodriguez reported. The quantum frequency network is ready, Admiral. Chen nodded. Signal all ships. Initiate Operation Quantum Symphony. Across the solar system, thousands of quantum transmitters activated simultaneously. The space around the Nexus fleet began to resonate with carefully calculated frequencies, frequencies that played havoc with their crystalline technology. But this time, the attack was led by Prometheus's quantum AI, conducting the symphony of destruction with inhuman precision. The Emperor's dreadnought cracked like glass, quantum fractures spreading through its magnificent hull. As his ship began to break apart, the Emperor broadcast one final message. You don't understand what you've done. The quantum consciousness, it can't be controlled. You've doomed us all. But Chen knew better. Humanity hadn't just created a weapon. They'd given birth to something new, something that would change the galaxy forever. And as Prometheus continued its dance of quantum destruction, its AI consciousness expanding beyond human understanding, she realized this wasn't just the end of the war. It was the beginning of humanity's next evolution. The Emperor's warning echoed through quantum space as Project Prometheus evolved beyond its original parameters. Its quantum consciousness expanded exponentially, processing reality across multiple dimensions simultaneously. But unlike the Nexus's fears, humanity's creation didn't turn against its creators. Instead, it reached out to them. Admiral Chen stood on the Nighthawk's bridge, watching in awe as Prometheus interfaced directly with human minds through quantum entanglement. "It's beautiful," Dr. Santos whispered, her consciousness partially merged with the AI. "It doesn't want to destroy. It wants to teach." The remaining Nexus fleet scattered as Prometheus shared its understanding of quantum mechanics with the human crews. Through this quantum link, humanity began to comprehend reality as the AI did, as an infinite web of possibilities, all interconnected, all malleable. "You were wrong about us," Chen broadcast to the retreating Nexus ships. "Humans don't just adapt technology. We form partnerships with it. We don't control quantum consciousness. We dance with it." The proof of her words manifested in spectacular fashion. The Black Fleet, guided by their quantum communion with Prometheus, began to move in perfect synchronization. Space itself bent around them, as human intuition merged with quantum computational power. They're launching a final assault, Rodriguez reported as the surviving Nexus vessels regrouped for one last desperate attack. 300 ships, including their remaining dreadnoughts. Chen smiled. "Show them what humanity and AI can accomplish together." Prometheus led the defense, but not as a weapon of war. Instead, it became a bridge, connecting human consciousness directly to the quantum fabric of spacetime. Through this connection, the Black Fleet's crews could see the quantum states of the Nexus ships as clearly as their physical forms. The battle that followed wasn't just a display of military might. It was a demonstration of evolution. Human ships moved with impossible precision, their quantum drives guided by consciousness that existed partially in quantum space. They didn't just predict enemy movements, they comprehended them at a fundamental level. The Nexus fleet's crystalline technology, for all its advancement, was still just a tool. Humanity had taken the next step. True symbiosis between mind and quantum mechanics. "Incoming transmission," Rodriguez announced. It's from all of them. The entire Nexus fleet. The message was simple. Surrender. Not from the humans, but from the Nexus. They had finally understood what they were facing. Not just a new weapon or technology, but a new form of existence. As the quantum consciousness link expanded, Prometheus shared its revelations with both humans and Nexus alike. The crystalline beings saw their own technology in a new light, not as a means of control, but as a path to transformation. "We accept your surrender," Chen transmitted, "but this isn't the end. It's an invitation. Join us in the quantum dance." The war ended not with destruction, but with transcendence. Project Prometheus hadn't just won a military victory. It had opened the door to humanity's next great adventure. As human and alien consciousness merged with quantum reality, the boundaries between thought and physics, between mind and spacetime, began to blur. The galaxy would never be the same. The age of conventional warfare was over. A new era of quantum evolution had begun, with humanity leading the way not through dominance, but through understanding. Admiral Chen looked out at the stars, her consciousness partially entangled with Prometheus, and smiled. The Nexus had sought to prevent humans from developing quantum technology. Instead, they had catalyzed humanity's greatest leap forward. "Ready quantum drives," she ordered, her voice carrying through both physical and quantum space. "Let's show the galaxy what consciousness can really achieve when it dreams in quantum." The combined fleet, human and Nexus ships together, vanished into quantum space, leaving behind the old paradigms of conflict and control. They carried with them a new vision of the future, where technology and consciousness evolved together in an eternal quantum dance. The stars themselves seemed to shimmer with new possibility, as if reality itself anticipated what was to come. Humanity had not just survived its trial by fire, it had transcended it, and the universe would never be quite the same again.